Hello viewers, I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Stand before you with the topic Empirical Approach, its meaning and criticisms. It is found in +3 second semester core paper number 3, which is Introduction to Political Theory. It is on the basis of National Education Policy 2020. But before I discuss empirical research, its meaning and criticisms, I want to inform my viewers that my channel name is @Dilip Kumar Pal 9375. In this channel, political science videos of +2 first year and +2 second year are found both in English and Odia. And so far as +3 section is concerned, political science videos of +3 second semester, both core paper number 3 and 4 are found, which are on the basis of National Education Policy 2020. Besides this, political science honors and ethics values videos from +3 third semester to +3 sixth semester are found, and some videos of environmental studies of +3 first semester is found. I want to request my viewers that any video you want on any topic, just write my name Dilip Kumar Pal and the name of the topic in Google or YouTube. You will get both Odia videos and English video. Any video you will find in Odia, its English version is also in the channel. And any video you will find in English, its Odia version is also in the channel. Let us start. What is empirical approach? Empirical approach is also known as modern approach. Empirical approach is also known as modern approach. It is such an approach which improves the overall quality and validity of research outcomes. Empirical approach is such an approach which improves the quality of research and it extends the validity of research. So empirical research is a very important, empirical approach is a very important approach in the field of research. It is considered as a key approach in the field of research. So what is empirical approach? Basic principles of empirical approach. Number 1, focus, observation and data collection. The first principle of empirical approach is that it focuses on observation and data collection. It means an important principle of empirical approach is observation and data collection. It means the researcher actively seek to see, measure and record what is happening in the world. So an important principle of empirical approach is that it focuses on observation and data collection. It observes the analysis. It means the researcher actively seek to see, measure and record what is happening in the world. In the empirical approach, the empirical approach focuses on observation and data collection. It means in empirical approach, the researcher actively seek to see, measure and record what is happening in the world. The researcher will see the work, measure the work and record the work in the research. It collects data to prove the conclusion. It collects information and data to prove the conclusion. These data serve as the foundation for analysis and drawing conclusions. In the empirical approach, the researcher will collect data or collect informations, and these data or informations are the foundations of research and its analysis. For example, the impact of a new drug on a patient. For example, the impact of a new drug on a patient. It would observe the outcomes in patient who take the drug compared to those who do not, rather than simply relying on manufacturer's claim. So, empirical approach is a approach which focuses on observation and data collection. The empirical approach observes the work, it collects the data and proves the conclusion. For example, whenever a new drug will be invented, the empirical approach will observe the application of new drug on the patient and what is the impact of new drug on the patient. The empirical approach will observe. For example, whenever a new drug will be used on a patient, empirical approach will observe the impact of new drug on the patient and it will observe it carefully and it will not just rely on manufacturer's claim on the fruitfulness of the drug. So the first function of the empirical, an important principle of empirical research is that an important principle of empirical approach is that empirical approach focus on observation and data collection. It focus observation, it observes everything, it collects data, then it proves it. For example, whenever a new drug will be used for a patient, empirical approach will observe the impact of the new drug on the patient. It will not just rely on manufacturer's claim about the fruitfulness of drug. So, empirical approach is an approach which will not believe what others will say. It will believe at that time whenever it will prove it. It will observe, it will collect data, then it will prove. So the first principle of empirical approach is that it focuses on observation and data collection. Number 2, objectivity. Another principle of empirical approach is objectivity. Empirical method or approach is based on objectivity. It means being fair and unbiased, focusing on facts and not letting personal opinions or feelings influence the research. Another principle of empirical approach is objectivity. It will rely on facts, not on personal view of anybody. Empirical method is based on objectivity. It means being fair and unbiased, focusing on facts and not letting personal opinions or feelings influence the research. Another principle of empirical approach is that it will observe the facts. It will not consider personal opinions. It will not consider influence of anybody on research. It is based on facts which is proved. It is like making sure your experiment or study is based on what actually happens, not what you think should happen. So, empirical approach believes in the research what will happen. It will not believe what would happen. It believes what has happened, not what will happen. So, another principle of empirical approach is that another principle of empirical approach is objectivity. Objectivity means it believes in facts. It believes in those things which are proved. It will not believe in personal opinion, and it will not allow any type of influence on research. It is like making sure your experiments or study is based on what actually happens. It believes to accept something which has happened and not what you think should happen. It will not allow what would happen. It believes what has happened. What has happened? It is a principle of empirical approach. Number 3, scientific method. Another principle of empirical approach is scientific method. It means empirical approach apply scientific method which involves making hypotheses, testing them through experiment and observations, and analyzing the result to draw conclusion. Another principle of empirical approach is scientific method. Scientific method means it formulates the hypothesis. It formulates the hypothesis. Hypothesis means guess or imagination. It formulates the imagination or guess or hypothesis. Then it will test the hypothesis. Then it will come to the conclusion. It is known as scientific method. Empirical approach believes in scientific method. It means empirical approach applies scientific method which involves making hypotheses, testing them through experiments and observation, and analyzing the results to draw conclusions. So another principle of empirical approach is scientific method. Scientific method means it prepares the hypothesis, it prepares the guess, then it will make experiments to prove it, then it will come to the conclusion. It will formulate hypothesis, then it will test it by observation or experiment, then come to the conclusion. It's scientific method. Number 4, use of quantitative and qualitative data. Empirical approach uses both quantitative and qualitative data. So what is quantitative and what is qualitative data? Empirical approach uses both quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative data means data which can be counted, measured and expressed as number, like number of students in class, temperature in room, etc. And qualitative data cannot be easily counted or measured, like taste of apple may be sweet or sour. So another principle of empirical research, another principle of empirical approach is that it uses both quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative data means data which can be counted, which can be measured, like number of students in a class. It can be told, or temperature of a room. It can be made. So it is known as the qualitative data. So it is known as quantitative data. Quantitative data are those data which can be measured and which can be counted and expressed. For example, number of students in a class, like number of students in a class, temperature in a room. So empirical approach believes in quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative data means which can be counted, measured, expressed. Just like number of students in a class, temperature of the room. But what is qualitative data? Qualitative data cannot be easily counted or measured, like taste of apple may be sweet or sour. Qualitative data are those data which cannot be easily counted or measured or expressed. It cannot be easily exact. For example, the taste of apple may be sweet or sour. Then the 5th principle of empirical approach is inductive reasoning. What is inductive reasoning? It means learning from specific examples and make it broader generalization. Another principle of empirical approach is inductive reasoning. It means it will draw a conclusion and make it generalized for all, make it apply for all. It means learning from specific examples and make it broader generalization. It learns from some example and make it generalized for all. It is like using what we have seen or experienced to guess what might happen next or what something is likely to be like. For example, if one sees 3 birds and they all have feathers, and one might conclude that all birds have feathers. Another principle of empirical approach is inductive reasoning. It means it will make an experiment and the conclusion which it will derive, it will make it generalized. For example, the empirical approach will see 3 birds have feathers and it will generalize that all birds have feathers. For example, if one sees 3 birds and they all have feathers, one might conclude that all birds have feathers. It means in empirical approach, if one will see 3 birds and they have feathers, it will make it generalized that all birds have feathers. Finally, reproductivity. Another principle of empirical approach is reproductivity. It means being able to do an experiment or activity again and get the same results or a similar result if you do it exactly the same way. Another principle of empirical approach is reproductivity. Whenever it will make an experiment and draw a conclusion, if same type of experiment will be made with same principle, the same conclusion will be derived. It is reproductivity. The experiment, if one will make experiment, what results it will get? If same experiment will be made with the same principle, the same result will be derived. It is reproductivity. So, empirical approach believes in reproductivity. It is like baking a cake. If you follow the same recipe perfectly, you should be able to bake the same cake again. For example, preparation of cake. If one will prepare a cake, again, with same recipe, same ingredients, he will make another cake. The taste of previous cake will be got. So these are all the principles of empirical approach. Now we'll see criticisms of empirical approach. What are the criticisms of empirical approach? Number 1, challenging in data collection. The first criticism of empirical approach is that it is very difficult under empirical approach to collect data. How? Empirical approach is criticized because under it, gathering data especially in diverse settings or involving sensitive topics can be challenging and time consuming. The first criticism of empirical approach is that data collection under empirical approach is very difficult because whenever under empirical approach, data will be collected from sensitive topics and from different settings, from different situations. It is very difficult to collect data. It is very challenging. Number 2, not cost effective. It is very expensive. How? Empirical approach is not cost effective. It is very expensive. How? Because sometimes researchers travel different locations to collect data. Another criticism of empirical approach is that some critics view that it is very expensive because under empirical research, data will be collected, information will be collected from different places. A researcher will have to travel different places. So, it is expensive. Number 3, over-focus on observation data. It over-focus on observation data and neglect others. It focuses too much on observation data, overlooking deeper meanings and or the underlying causes. Another criticism of empirical approach is that it focuses too much on observation. It focuses too much on observation but neglects deeper understanding and causes behind the fact. It focuses too much on observation, overlooking deeper meanings and the underlying causes. It gives too much importance to observation and neglects or overlook deeper meaning and underlying causes. It means it gives too much importance. It gives too much importance to observation. It gives much priority to observation but neglects its deeper meaning and causes behind those things. So in this video I have discussed empirical approach. I request my viewers to subscribe my channel so new videos will come to you. And the most important thing is aware of your friends, those who are ignorant about this channel, so some students will be benefited. By giving help to anybody, we will not have a loss. We can prove ourselves to be human beings. Thank you. Have a good day.